Howard, could you tell us a little about yourself and your inspiration for creating Auldbrass?
Uh, our inspiration for creating Auldbrass really started quite early. I had identified finance, venture capital, which was a much broader category in the past, and was really an area that I wanted to pursue. I went to Wharton undergrad and Harvard Business School to gain access to the industry, and it really became clear to me early on that the most impactful thing one could do, especially as African American, was to create their own firm, and of course perform at the highest level once they did that.
Is who
And
are the Black leaders that inspired you and why?
Howard and I were in school together at the University of Pennsylvania. We were there and graduated in 1988. In 1987, in the summer of 1987, Reginald Lewis completed the large Beatrice Foods deal, which was the first billion-dollar Black-owned company. That was, a very watershed moment for Blacks in finance, and us being finance majors at the Wharton School at that time, getting ready to go into our senior year. That was a great inspiration for both of us, just in terms of seeing someone accomplish that who looked like us and also was a member of our fraternity too. So a little bit of a closer tie with that.
my father was definitely one of the key influences on me, especially on the entrepreneurial side. I think most black men and women in the 60s, 70s, 80s were entrepreneurs because there was no natural pathway for us to enter professions like law, business, you name it. And so to really get into those industries and perform, it required extraordinary effort. My dad was one of those. He bought three radio stations, one in DC, another in Baltimore, and one in Richmond, and operated them successfully. I was also impacted by the early financiers, venture capitalists like John Oxendine, Terry Jones, and Herb Wilkins at Syncom, who were the real early investors in firms like Essence and several radio groups, Radio One being one of the most successful. Uh, they were a huge influence on me and really showed me what was possible.
Right.
Could you share the challenges and successes of being a Black owned firm in the private equity asset management space?
The successes are fairly obvious from my vantage point. We've been able to build a world-class team. We've had a fair amount of success with top quartile performance in our funds. And we've also, been able to give back to the community by supporting a number of organizations, including Twigo, SEO. We also have put our own imprint on how secondaries are executed. We've taken uh, what we believe is high return opportunities at lower risk levels, and that's really paid off. It's been very rewarding for us. Some of the challenges have been competing against larger firms, getting capital allocations from larger firms. It's a very competitive industry now, and I think most would define it as a mature industry. There also has been, a real lack of presence of Black firms until recently. But I'm glad to be part of that group and to have a team that's diverse and representative of the highest level of performance in the industry.
Chris, I'd like to turn it over to you and ask if you could tell us about your role at Auldbrass and also the role that Auldbrass plays within the UCF portfolio for those of our clients that may not be as familiar with private equity and secondary space.
We are a secondaries private equity investor, and our role is to be able to deliver superior risk-adjusted returns in that space. We understand that the United Church Fund mission is to help churches and faith-based organizations grow their ministry. We're excited and proud to be a part of that continuum. And if we do our job, it allows you to be able to deliver on your mission and allow those churches and faith-based organizations to do great work in the communities that they serve. So we understand that we are stewards over those resources. We take it very seriously. We feel the weight of that for our investors.
Thank you so much to both Howard and Chris for sharing your time, sharing your expertise. I know I learned a lot, and I'm sure our clients have. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us at 877-806-4989 or email us at info@ucfunds.org.